You have advertised comics, right?
Literally, the guy just walked away like 2 minutes ago.
West Coast Avengers, no comic books for me, this sucks. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Dave. I'm coming to you live from my comic cave. I want to talk to you about Jar Jar Binks, but first we gotta call Galactus, yeah. That last line didn't rhyme, oh well. Another episode of the West Coast Avengers, aka me. Well, sometimes you play to win the game.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
I just got back from a lovely 3-day excursion to Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles. I worked my old job, which is an event job. I don't work as much anymore, obviously. I'm more of a comic guy now. It was really nice to get down there, see a couple of friends, and hit some garage sales with my friend Alex. I'm going to throw in some clips right now. You can take a look, and we'll come back, and we'll talk about what I found. You know, hey.
How are you? I heard there was comics.
Inside, the more valuable thing there.
Cool. Thank you. And if I pop into this one?
See, we're not the only people who are here.
Nope, not the only ones.
No. Always gets people coming out. Always looking.
Always looking for a new comic book fix.
Our record store for 20 years. We were driving North Hollywood and full track, the Little Magnolia, behind the Taco Bell. So, I gave her my
Can you say how much the comics are? Oh, that's not bad. How much are the Alien Predator books?
They're 45.
45.
No, 35.
Wait, are you filming?
Yeah. Yeah, I do a YouTube show on comic hunting. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I go to garage sales and flea markets.
Go for a lot more than that on.
No, they're great. I want to read it actually. Whoa. I found some of the Valiant already.
That's what you came here for.
Oh God. Oh, there we go.
It's so dark out.
The only thing I could hope for is to find a Malibu Sunspawn. That's about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always down for any sealed wizards if there are any. Okay. And Alex, don't forget, you see Todd. You buy Todd.
There you go.
Psychwits.
So this sale was in the back of a comic book store in Pasadena. I had a feeling this was going to be what the contents of this sale were, and it is somewhere between 12,000 and more comics, but a lot of stock, a lot of unsold stock. And nothing great, like this Marvel Comics Presents with Wolverine with the Eric Larson cover was just all banged up. So I didn't need to buy that for $1. And if I was collecting Vigilante, I would have had half a run, if not more. So it was a lot of filler. There just wasn't anything that I was really excited to find, with the exception of a few books.
It's all $1 each on Indie Comics.
All right. How about the first warp? God. Ooh, Small Star Squadron. I don't need another beat. There's that. That Charles Vess cover is amazing.
That is cool. I don't know who that is.
Charles Vess?
Yeah, I like it though.
Oh, Vess? Oh, yeah. That was one of my favorite humans in comics ever.
Nice.
You ever read this? I'll buy it for you.
Okay.
It's Dave McKean and Neil Gaiman. Jesus. Look at that one.
Whoa.
That's such a dope cover.
So here I was going through a box that was some like early 2000s Image, and there was a book in here that I was thinking about. No, not Shadowhawk 2. And I wanted to keep looking, but there was a guy right next to me, and I just I felt a little crowded. So I went to the other side where I was finding more Marvel filler. But I kept thinking about that Image box, and we'll come back to that in a second.
I've never heard of you. It's so funny though.
It's a late surfer book. Should probably call Galactus. Oh. Oh.
So I made my way back over to that Image box to search for one single issue. When I originally looked through this, I kind of glazed over the fact that there was a whole bunch of Noble Causes, which is a very unknown series from Image Comics. But Noble Causes Family Secrets has a cameo of the character Invincible. I am a huge Invincible fan as well as a big Invincible collector, and there was a couple of the Family Secrets, but clearly this guy obviously knew what he was doing, and that book was not in there, even though like there was 25 Noble Causes issues in there. So I was trying to find it, but it wasn't there. But I still had to make sure I did a double check, because you always got to double check.
Anything on the ground's $1.
So if I start throwing stuff on the ground, it's all $1. Is there any Jar Jar Binks stuff? That's what's really important here.
So that it unlocks the voice.
Oh, honey, honey.
Hi, I'm Dave.
there you saw some clips. One garage sale that I went to, the first one, somebody came and bought the comics 2 minutes before I showed up. So, oh well. The second garage sale we went to had 3 long boxes. A guy used to own a record shop. So like the 3 long boxes, I only looked at one because there was one person flanking me on each side. And there was nothing. I asked him about a couple other things that were there. It wasn't bad prices. It were just dollar books and then like some stuff at half price. So I didn't buy anything there. But the third garage sale we went to was behind a comic store. And it's like this big, huge lot. It's almost like a junkyard that this guy has. As you saw in those clips, there was 40 long boxes, something like that. And as I kind of suspected, and it's the reason why we didn't go to that one first, they were stock of his dollar bins or maybe even his quarter books. I didn't get a lot. I did find one gem, and that's about it, but it wasn't even in great condition. He had pulled the keys out. I'm not sure if it showed up on the video, but if it did, you saw there was a Next Men run, and the first Hellboy was taken out. I want to show everybody that, first of all, you have to do it. You have to go to these sales, or you have to go to the flea markets, or you have to go to the stores like to dig, and you're not always going to win. Like, I really enjoy doing this. I got to do it with my friend. I got to hang out, have a good time. We talked about comic books. We joked around about some of the stuff that we found. And like, there was no moment of that wasn't enjoyable, but you're not always going to find books. And of course, I'm going to buy some stuff, especially when they're $1 a book. But there's nothing great in there. So let's just go through some of the stuff I picked up. I picked up a big fat kill, Sin City #1. And Sin City, obviously, you know Sin City. Sin City was one of the first forays I had into loving independent books. I read it in the early 2000s. My friend Larry had given me the book, and he's like, here, you need to read this. I had never read it before, and then I fell in love with it. And I read everything. And then obviously the movie came out, and I fell even deeper in love with it because I think the movie is arguably one of the greatest comic book movies ever. A Wizard World Los Angeles exclusive, and it's a Rob Liefeld book. It has Prophet on the front cover, Nitrogen, Extreme Forces, and Extreme Studios, obviously, along with Arcade Comics, indie Rob Liefeld book that I've never seen before. There was a lot of Swamp Thing in there, but I just pulled out a Swamp Thing 136. This is a Charles Vess cover, a beautiful Charles Vess cover. And it was pretty interesting because Alex, who is an artist himself, I would have assumed that he knew who Charles Vess was, and he didn't. So we talked about Charles Vess, like one of the most beautiful painter artists of all time, one of the most beautiful illustrators, and a constant collaborator with Neil Gaiman. It's not a garage sale if you don't get to see Todd, buy Todd. Cyberforce #8. This is part of Image X month. I've shown it on this program before, but Todd McFarlane doing Mark Silvestri's book, and Mark Silvestri did Spawn that month, and Jim Lee did Savage Dragon, and Eric Larson did Wildcats, Rob Liefeld did Shadowhawk, and I believe Jim Valentino did Youngblood. Some variation of that, but a very, very, very Todd McFarlane pose on Rip Claw on the cover. Picked up a couple of Crow books, which I was pretty surprised to find at $1 a piece. These are from the Kitchen Sink comics, so Dead Time #3 and Flesh and Blood #2. I have a few of each of these, so this might actually complete their 3-issue series. So we'll see. I have to dig those other Crow books out. They're somewhere in there. Here's another indie book, Negative Burn #13, and it's an anthology type book where some of these writers and artists would do 1 or 2 page stories. But let me read off the list of people that worked on this issue. This is the anniversary issue. Brian Bolland, Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, Brian Michael Bendis, Evan Dorkin. The list goes on and on. You get to the bottom, you get Charlie Moore, you get Paul Pope, Terry Moore, Jeff Parker. So if you ever see some Negative Burn, pick them up because I'm pretty sure they're all self-contained and the talent is off the chain. Speaking of Neil Gaiman, this was a very Neil Gaiman heavy pickup. I was going to give this to Alex, but I forgot. But anyway, I'll still show it off. This is the complete series of Black Orchid. And I believe, so this is Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean. And I read this a long time ago. It's been a while, so I'll probably crack it open again. But I believe this is what DC saw and then decided Sandman was a go. I'm not 100% sure. Black Orchid. Seek it out if you've never seen it. If you've never read it. It's beautiful. It's Neil Gaiman. It's Dave McKean. And the last 2 books of note, I guess, the late issue in the 3rd volume of Silver Surfer, Dr. Doom on the cover or a Doombot on the cover. What do you do when Silver Surfer's come? Got to go Galactus, you got to go Galactus. He is the intergalactical warrior. You got to go Galactus, you got to go Galactus. I don't know how this was in there. This is Thanos Quest #1, a 2-part miniseries. This is the first printing. It's probably a VF. When I was younger, this was a very expensive book. It's still not cheap, but this is the story. This is technically the prequel story to the Infinity Gauntlet. This is how Thanos gets the Infinity Gems. Jim Starlin, Ron Lim, Squarebound. I don't know how I found this for $1, but I did. Granted, yes, I only hit 3 garage sales. There were some others that were listed, but they didn't look good. The next day, I went to a couple of comic book stores with my friend Will.
I didn't even collect Vampirella, but I know so many people that do, and that, like, I do want to look through some Spawn, which probably should be here. Oh.
And the same thing, like, I just didn't find anything interesting. Prices were a little bit too much. The selection wasn't great. The stores were weird. The last time that I really enjoyed getting comics in LA was when I used to go to Meltdown Comics. And that was the mecca for comics in Los Angeles. A place where people hung out. They did Nerdist podcasts there. They did comedy shows there. They had a lot of comic events and signings there. Because they were really kind of split. It was a great comic store for, you know, the main stuff. The back issues, the new books, the trades, the hardcovers, but they carried a lot of independent published works, even self-published. And now that the Meltdown is closed, it's just kind of a bummer. I mean, I've been to Golden Apple before. Nothing really to say about that store. I don't dislike it, but it's not like the greatest thing in the world. So we went to a couple stores. We went to the Melrose Market, which is like a, you know, kind of a hipstery flea market on Melrose at the high school.
A part of Amalgam Comics, which was...
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, DC and Marvel decided to combine their characters and make
That was
this.
after they did the Versus.
Yes, yeah, it was 97. It's really bad, but it's also really good. Like, it's one of those things.
Some of characters are good.
Yeah, Darkclaw is Batman and Wolverine as one character. It's like, all right, you know, much of a stretch.
Because it was kind of, I don't know. I thought it was very obscure.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I enjoy it, because it's obscure and it's bad.
I wasn't even finding any back issues that I wanted to buy at any prices that I really liked. That being said, it was fun. I just wanted to show that it's not always wins. A little update for y'all. So 2 weeks ago, you saw the garage sale. Got the Hulk, and I got the X-Men 2, and I got the Fantastic Four 48, along with a whole bunch of other stuff with Joe. Went back, bought some more stuff. I worked out a deal, and on my way back from Los Angeles after I landed in Seattle, I had purchased a book, and I picked it up. So I am now the proud owner of a Giant Size X-Men #1 of 4.0 on a very old CGC label. This was graded 20 years ago. Holy crap. He gave me a great deal on it. Paid about $2,000. God. Second appearance of Wolverine. First appearance of Storm. First appearance of Nightcrawler. First appearance of Colossus. And first appearance of Thunderbird. Boy, oh boy. It's just wild. That was a nice little update. Stay tuned for more updates. I'm not done doing business with him. I'm in talks to buy the rest of his collection. This was kind of like the icing on the cake of a great weekend in Los Angeles. It's not always about getting the books, the big books, or even getting great books. It's the getting out there, seeing what there is, knowing your area, meeting people too. You never know who you're going to run into at a garage sale.
You play to win the game.
Yeah. It's West Coast Wednesday. West Coast Wednesday. I've got my Instagram claim sale tonight, but you'll be seeing this on Sunday, so stay tuned for the next one. Thank you once again for joining me on this journey. Hit the like, throw a comment below. Let me know if you saw anything in the clips that I missed picking up. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not. And don't forget to tell
your dad to subscribe to the show too. Hey Dad, what's up?
You can see my links below. And I will see you next week. West Coast Avengers! Hell yeah, brother!
Hello?